2 of the daily live streams. I've just been to the gym. We're going to talk about that. And in this one, I want to be talking to you boys about a concept that I'm terming aura. Okay, aura, and why in 2024 and beyond you want to have this thing called aura. So yeah, if this is the first live stream, the first daily live stream that you tune into, essentially these live streams are just a Casanovian stream of consciousness. It's me learning and thinking out loud. I'm going to be documenting the lessons that I'm learning whilst I'm here in Cyprus, and just taking you along this journey with me, really. The actual videos that I post onto my channel, they are often more polished, the production's better, but I think this is kind of like a peek behind the curtain, if that makes sense. You can actually get to know me, the person behind the persona, opportunity to ask me questions in real time. I will get to the questions later on. We'll do like a Q&A. If you are going to ask questions, then please make them questions which are actually going to change your life. Don't just be asking me like pointless things like what's the best open. Like it's just not a thing. So yeah, so let's get into it. Aura. I think first of all, defining what aura actually means. I can't remember who it was. I think it was like Socrates, who's like, wisdom begins with defining the terms. So let's actually define what aura means. So I've got notes here as well, so I'm going to be referring to those just because it keeps me on track, because oftentimes I'm like a volcano just erupting in different places. So aura, the way that I define it is compelling people without having to say a word. And it's the energy of a man who people just want to be around. Okay, so being able to compel people without saying a word, going into a room and just lighting that room up straight away. Like people coming over to you being like, I don't know what it is about you, but something just drew me towards you. Yeah, aura. So we're going to be talking about how to actually develop aura, because this is a skill that anybody can learn. It's not really a skill, actually. Aura is more, it's a state of being, it's a state of mind, it's a state of existing, and it's also a decision that we make. Yeah, you can make the decision right now to develop aura. And I think like the more, because I'm very critical of myself, like every time I do one of these live streams, what I do, a bit like a psychopath, really. I'll just sit down in a dark room and I will critique myself. I will listen to myself back. I do this with the videos that I put out as well. I'll watch myself back. I'll listen to the things that I say. I'll hear how I interact with my audience, and I'll critique. I'll be like, right, this was good. This needs to be improved, because I want to be an articulate speaker who's able to convey esoteric ideas effortlessly, and then also give you practical solutions to the problems that you're facing as well. So in 2024 and beyond, aura is what you want to have. It's almost like this mystic quality where you're moving through the world and people can't help but be attracted to you. I don't know if you've heard of the poem. It's called The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who's an absolute legend. And in The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, he's the guy who had like the albatross around his neck. There's a passage in one of the stanzas which says, the wedding guests cannot choose but listen. Right? Cannot choose but listen. It's like people don't even have a choice. Like when your energy is so magnetic, so infectious, people don't really have a choice. Like they just feel so magnetized and compelled towards you. And aura is something which is going to alleviate your anxieties, especially your anxieties towards approaching women, making social connections, and just living a life beyond the beige. And aura is something that I want to be developing more and more in myself. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling this year. So I'm in Cyprus right now, then London for February, and then Bangkok in March, Argentina in April. And aura is something that I'm going to be developing a lot. And that kind of feeds into how to actually develop aura. So it's actually very simple. There's 3 things which I've pinpointed which allow you to become more of this magnetic individual who compels people without saying a word. So the first idea is to do difficult shit, right? This is the quickest way to develop an infectious persona. It's by doing difficult shit, right? It's by forging an identity through the fires of adversity. Like there's something about a man who's just been through difficult things in his life, like the way he carries himself, the way he acts, the way he treats other people, whether it's, you know, the bin guy, the guy who's serving him coffee, or the old lady at the bus station. There's something about the way that this man moves, and I think it only comes about through the fires of adversity. So doing difficult things and proving to yourself that you're worthy of your own respect. And this is the issue that I have with modern day self-improvement. I'm going to make a video, like an actual video about this, to divulge into this topic. But my problem with modern day self-improvement is it can often feel very flowery and passive. It almost feels like procrastination in disguise a lot of the time. And I can say this because I've been down that self-improvement rabbit hole, you know, the whole gratitude journaling, meditating, red light therapy. It kind of makes you into just like a little diva in a way. It's like, oh no, I can't talk to girls today because I didn't do my 10-minute meditation, or I didn't do my cold water, I didn't do that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you can, right? Like cold approach should be at the top of your self-improvement agenda because it ticks all the boxes. And that's the reason why most guys, actually probably all guys if we're being honest, it's the reason why you're on self-improvement anyway. It's because you want to receive love from the feminine, right? It's because you want to find that wife-worthy woman who you feel like you deserve that person, right? You've overcome that perceived lack of self-worth. Like you can do the meditating, the gratitude journal, you can make the 6 figures, have the 10 out of 10 body, the penthouse in Malibu, but if you're still scared to talk to that woman, then it's like working your bollocks off to buy a Lamborghini and then being too scared to drive it. That's the analogy that I like to use. I'm not saying don't do these things, but what I am saying is prioritize what's actually important. It's like the 80-20 rule, like prioritizing the highest leverage activity. So if you're not already going out there, and if you're not already using cold approach as a catalyst for the rest of your life, if you're not using it as the ultimate self-improvement exercise, for me, it's actually an amazing way to overcome that initial approach anxiety because it becomes less about the girls and more about you, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm going to go out today, I'm going to do something really difficult. I'm going to give 3 girls direct compliments, and then you're not even bothered too much about the outcome. The rep itself is the reward. It's like you set that intention to do the thing that most guys are never going to do in their lives. 3 direct approaches. Even if you do 2, you've still done 2. So well done. And just using it as its own self-improvement exercise. I don't even like the term self-improvement. I prefer self-adoration, but I think that's why we're all doing everything. It's why you're listening to me talk. It's why you're watching whatever content you're watching. It's why you're going out for walks and sprinting and meditating. It's like you wanna have that sense of self-adoration where you feel complete in yourself. Right? That's why we're doing all this. Like we just want to feel complete. We want to feel worthy. We want to feel as though our presence and existence actually matters. And that place where we get to, like by doing difficult things. So like, I'm not saying don't do any of that like self-improvement thing, but I do think a lot of self-improvement is just very flowery. Like, oh, I'm going to gratitude journal. Great. Nothing changed. I'm going to meditate. Nothing really changed. I think the best meditation is being able to condition yourself to remain calm in the chaos. So I believe that the best meditation is being able to practice breath work whilst you're out cold approaching. That's true meditation in my mind. Like I could sit like lotus flower position on my fucking kitchen floor. Oh yeah, I'm so blissed out right now. I'm at peace. But I think that peace is a state of mind that we earn through doing difficult things. So yeah, and maybe make notes on this as well. Like as I'm talking, if I say something which sparks your interest and think, yeah, I'm actually going to do that this week. Like have like a weekly schedule. Don't just like consume this and then don't create anything. So that's the first step to have this magnetic aura. It's doing difficult things. I've made a video which is, it's called Create Your Own Dopamine. That basically shows you in one video how to develop this aura through difficult things. So I do sprints, a social freedom exercise, and then a cold approach. That's something you can literally do today after watching this, or you can schedule it for when you've got a day off if you're working a 9 to 5. Like sprint, social freedom exercise, and then just do one cold approach. You'll feel like a different man after that, and then you can use that as a catalyst for the rest of your day. So let's say you've got a day off this Saturday, do the create your own dopamine exercise, and then go to like a bar or out with friends in the evening, and bro, you're going to be operating on godly frequency. Like that's what having aura is about. It's like you front loaded. That's how Ephraim described it when we were doing it together. That sounds right. When we were doing it together, we front loaded. No, but like you're doing the difficult things, like you're stacking monumental wins at the start of your day, and then when the evening rolls around, you're the most social, magnetic person in the room. It's because you've stacked wins to start the day. So that's the first thing, doing difficult shit. That's the first way that we develop aura. Give it a like, give this video a like if this is useful to you, and if it's helping. Oh, we've got a lot more to get through, bro. I'm probably going to be on this stream for about an hour, so yeah, hopefully you're enjoying it. Anyway, second way to develop aura after you've done difficult things is getting yourself into a social flow state. Okay, being in a social flow state where conversation, like having conversations with people, feels as natural as drinking water. It becomes something we are rather than something that we do. I'll use an example to elucidate this. I need to connect the dots together. Like I said, this is very much a stream of consciousness of me thinking out loud. So basically, today I went to the gym. Yeah, I went to the gym. So that's why I've got aura right now. My energy is just feeling amazing. Like I push my body to the limits. So now I'm feeling good. Now I'm feeling like in a social flow state because I front loaded. So today I was at the gym, right? And I got to the gym and the gym wasn't very busy, but there was two girls who were training together, and I noticed that one of them, it's like if you know what's going on, if you're fluent in the language of the feminine, you know when a girl likes you. Like if you're training at the gym and you can see a girl keep looking over at you, or maybe she starts following you around the gym, or maybe she positions herself on a machine, I could tell there was some sort of attraction there. So anyway, I didn't think too much of it. I was getting on, I was being my own personal point of origin, just, fucking training, getting myself into, just tapping more into aura. And anyway, the gym that I go to here in Cyprus, it's got 3 floors, right? So imagine like a wedding cake, like 3 tiers to it. And on the bottom floor, I went to the bottom floor because I wanted to know what was down in the bottom floor, like fucking basement, like something from Rocky. So I went down to the basement and I go around the corner, and the girl who I've got an insight is attracted to me is there. So she's training on some machine. As soon as I come around the corner, I could notice like a slight change in facial expression. She pretended to be busy on her phone. Anyway, so I thought, right, I'm feeling good right now. So I'm just going to be audacious. I'm just going to position myself on the machine next to her, and I'm going to basically open as I'm sitting on the machine. So I just say to her, are you using this? I knew she wasn't using it, but it's just a social icebreaker. So I was like, oh, are you using this? And as soon as I said something, she just lit up, right? It's like she'd been waiting for me to initiate. That's often the case. Yeah, I think that's a very important mindset to have when you are going out there to meet people. It's like the mindset I have is, oh, you know what, today people are going to be so excited to get to know me, and I can't wait to see who I'm going to meet today. Do you know what I mean? It's like women are waiting for you to initiate. So anyway, I position myself, ask her if she's using it. It's like the row machine. She wasn't using it. And then I finish a set. And then by this point, because it was like a heavy set of rows, I'm in this like state, when you go like a little bit fuzzy after you've just done like a heavy set. So I was like, I need to capitalize on this like fuzzy state. So there was no music playing on the bottom floor. The middle floor was the only floor that had music. So as I'm got this like fuzzy feeling, I just say, it's quiet down here, isn't it? And then she just like turns like a fucking tawny owl towards me, and she basically engages me in like a good 2 to 3 minute conversation where we start talking about who we are, our lives. I tell her like, yeah, I travel the world, go to these different places. She's like, oh, I would love to travel more. Like travel is always an amazing thing to talk to girls about. Even if you haven't traveled that much, you can talk about your plans to travel. Everyone likes talking about travel, right? So yeah, we start talking about travel. I was like, yeah, I've been to 20 countries last year. And there's nothing wrong with, what's this? I've got a Trojan. There's nothing wrong with DHVing, like demonstrating higher value. Like if you've got a cool life, like fucking flaunt it. It's the reason why we want to actually acquire these materialistic trophies, right? Like I've always viewed day game as a means of delivering your value to the world. Yeah, because evidence has the loudest voice. If you don't tell people, then they don't know. So I've worked my bollocks off to be living the life that I'm now living, this fully independent international lifestyle where I can go wherever I want, when I want, with who I want. So I'm going to make people aware, right? I'm waking up every day in my dream, and that comes off in the energy that I project. But so anyway, we start talking about traveling, and look, I could tell she was into me. She was into the conversation. She loved the fact that it was just a very natural conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like a very natural conversation. I think this is why the majority of us actually get into game. It's to naturalize our interactions with the feminine. So this is why learning cold approach, like street approaching, the streets are the perfect training ground. Like you'll learn everything you need to about approaching girls, creating attraction, building investment, objection handling, dealing with rejection, social pressure, the spotlight effect. You'll learn everything you ever need to on the streets, but don't get stuck there, right? This is the problem I see with, I would say about 93% of the guys who learn cold approach, they stay on the streets, right? I say to people, learn day game, but don't become a day gamer, right? Like you spend your time on the streets, like the streets of the dojo where you earn your stripes, and then it becomes life game, right? Life game, meaning that you can just start conversations with whoever, wherever you go. Yeah, but I think for most people, that's the best practical formula I can give you. It's a formula that I followed, and I had pretty good social skills to start off with because I was a magician for 10 years. But just spending that time, especially the first 90 days I spent in this day game space where I was just going hard with the approaches when I was living in Leeds. Yeah, bro, I was going to multiple cities across the UK, Manchester, York, Newcastle, London. Like I was doing about, when I was in London, I was doing about 80 approaches, like 80, on the weekends because I just wanted to get good fast, and that's the way you do it. It's through doing a lot of repetitions. So using the streets as your training ground, and like everything in that moment just came together in that conversation, if that makes sense. Because like I've already got like almost 4 years of cold approach experience behind me. I've got this aura that I'm radiating. I'm living internationally. I'm doing exciting things. I'm going to exciting places, and it's like because I've forged this identity through the fires of adversity, having this spontaneous conversation with the girl at the gym just felt effortless. And the beautiful thing about it, maybe we'll talk about gym game at a later date because I think that's a topic all on its own, but all I needed was that conversation. Like, even if I'm most likely going to see this girl again. Like, that's the beauty of let's say gym game. It's like you can become recurring crossover characters in each other's lives. So like now we're on a first name basis. I know she likes me. So the next time I see her at the gym, it's a warm approach. Like it's already on. Like I've already planted that seed of value. You don't want to be number closing a girl straight away at the gym just because she's give you like a slither of interest. You just come across as too thirsty, right? The energy that I was giving off it's the classic I want you but I don't need you. But it was also like I love me and I don't fear you. I think that's what it was. It's like I love me and I don't fear you. This is what I'm talking about in terms of aura, where you are operating from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of lack. It's like I just want to talk to this girl because it's going to boost my state even more. It's gonna fill me with even more aura. Like that's all I needed. Like the rep itself was the reward. Even if I never see that girl again, even if the next time I see her, she's like, "Oh, sorry, I've got a boy." It doesn't matter. And that is the way you succeed with women. It's when you don't actually need them, but you delight in their radiance, in their beauty. And this is why I reject most of the pickup community, the day game community, because it's all coming from the wrong place. It's coming from I have nothing and I want something, rather than my cup is already so full that all I want to do is give. All I want to do is delight in you. All I want to do is have this adventure where I'm going this way and I would love you to come along with me. If you can't make it, that's fine, because I'm my own mental point of origin. Yeah, it's like the affirmations that you say to yourself. It's like you want to always just be your own greatest cheerleader. This goes into that aura. Like if you don't already have like a self-adoration practice that you do, where basically it's just like a statement you say to yourself in the morning. Like it's good to refer to yourself in the third person as well, because then it sounds like someone else is saying it and it actually states like, I don't know, like Kristian is the most fuckable man on the planet. Kristian is the best to have ever done it. Kristian has the greatest aura on the planet, whatever your affirmation is. But it's just bigging yourself up. Do you know what I mean? Like I think too many of us, myself included, we're not operating from self-adoration, but self-deprecation. Like we don't rate ourselves. We're not a best friend to ourselves. We're not our own greatest cheerleader. And then the women that we speak to, they're going to follow our lead. It's like, if you think you're a piece of shit, then she feels what you feel. And she's going to follow your lead and think that you're an unworthy piece of shit as well. It's not her fault. She's not a bad person. It's because you're not taking care to take care. So doing difficult things, especially at the start of your day, sprinting, cold showers, social freedom. Like I love social freedom. It's such an amazing way to just get out of your head, boost your aura, and then just doing cold approach, just using cold approach as the ultimate self-adoration exercise. That's the second way. So that, one second, let me just drink this water. We've got creatine in this water, by the way, which I recommend that every young virile man should be taking creatine. It doesn't cause hair loss. It's a fantastic supplement. It's very good for mental cognition, and I can feel it as well. Like I'm way more. I'm way more. I'm way more in a social flow right now when I'm talking to you. So, creatine, vitamin D, I supplement with. I take 8,000 IU of vitamin D daily. Ashwagandha. I get all my stuff from British supplements. I'm not affiliated. I'm not sponsored. They're the best on the market that I found to actually get good supplements. So, yeah, if you're in the UK, British supplements, use the code STAYSEXY69 at checkout to get a 0% discount. But no, it's I think supplements are important for the masculine journey. Right, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, and then the third thing. Hello, bro. Are you broadcasting live? Yes. Yes, we are. The third thing to develop aura, and this is more of an esoteric concept, but probably the most important one, and it's to choose to love what you do, right? Choosing to love what you do, like choosing. Yeah, someone said to me a long time ago that happiness, even though it's like a bit of like a meh term, but happiness is a choice. Like we get to decide in any given moment how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our lives. It's not like brainwashing yourself. Like if you are like if your current situation does suck right now and you're not happy with the girls that you're getting, if you're not happy with the job you're working, the life you're living, then get pissed off about it. Like that's fine. Like just get pissed off about it. Like use rage and fury to accelerate. That's what I did. Like when I was living in that grotty apartment in central Leeds, I was pissed off with my situation. And rather than like being present and being grateful for what I had, I would project into the future. I would meet the man that I wanted to be, and then I would reverse engineer. I would be like, right, like where do I want to be? Okay, I want to be living a fully independent international lifestyle. I want to be the best in the world at daytime cold approach, and I want to assemble a network of radically ambitious, like-minded guys who can travel the world with me, who I've got their back, who are part of this community. And everything that I said would happen happened. Everything. That's my life now. I've got the community. I've got my network of guys. I'm living an international lifestyle, and in my opinion, I am the best in the world at daytime call approach. Like that's the catalog of content speaks for itself. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Free speech and all that. But I believe that's where I'm at, and that's the story that I tell myself. Like Plato said, people who tell stories rule the world. Like it's all interpretation. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's all in your mind. That's all that exists. Like if someone says, "Oh, you're an asshole," great. No one can make me feel bad without my consent. So it's like, right, that's fine. Thanks for the feedback. Onwards we go. But yeah, choose to love what you have. Okay, so even if your current reality does suck right now, there are probably a few things that you can be grateful for. Like everyone talks about gratitude, and there's a reason for that, because gratitude really is at the cornerstone of our own self-adoration. Okay, so it's like being excited about where you're at, but even more excited about where you're going, because I'm guilty of this as well, like conditional fulfillment. Like I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if. And that is kind of true sometimes. Like I knew that, like when before I went to Brazil, I was like, I can't wait to go to Brazil because I'm going to feel different there. And I did feel different, but you're still the same person, you know, even like once a novelty wears off, there's that Chinese proverb, which is like, wherever you go, there you are. I do think a lot of guys think that just being able to travel is going to change their lives completely. Like you're still the same person, right? You are still the same person. Just traveling to a new place, it's not going to change your life entirely. There's never just like one thing, but I do think that positioning yourself in an environment which forces growth, that's what you want to do, right? Like instigating growth through necessitation. So like, for example, I could choose to stay in a cheaper apartment, right? But I know that when I spend more money, I make more money, right? This is like abundance 101. Like the person who has the most cares the least. Like, bro, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on experiences, on coaching, on networks, on masterminds. And like the majority of people, because I think they just haven't woke up yet. They think, oh, what a waste of money. Like you could put that in a stock. You could invest that into property or crypto. And I understand that. But what I found to be true is the more I invest into myself, into the experiences, the networks, the coaching, the more money that I make. right? If I'm like, I was part of a $10,000 coaching mastermind recently, and I didn't think twice about it. I was like, yeah, money sent, let's go. And that's the mindset that I found that winners have. Like in the circles that I roll with now, the guys that I meet, the guys who I work with as well, like majority of guys that I work with, they are the high achieving, busy city workers. So I'm learning a lot through osmosis. That rule seems true to me. Like the more you spend, the more you make. And the way that I see it is I'm my biggest asset, right? That's how it works. Like I am my biggest asset. Whatever money I spend, I will make that money back. And I think that abundance mentality is a crossover between money and women. It's like it's the scarcity which is suffocating you. It's like, oh, but if I spend this money, I might not make it back again, and then I'll be broke. And it's like this is a peasant mindset which I used to be in. Like I didn't grow up with money. I've had very self-limiting beliefs around money. I always used to be like the guy that was like scrimping. Bro, I used to steal chicken from Tesco. When I was like 18, I just started university. I had no money. I was on universal credit at one point. I used to steal chicken from Tesco. Not pretty, but it's because I didn't actually know how to acquire. My mindsets around money was skewed. I always thought that I could save myself wealthy. Oh, pinching pennies. Oh, if I save £20 this week, then I'm going to be rich. It doesn't work like that. Like you have to allow the money in your life and the women in your life. You have to allow it all to just flow, right? Like if you're in a relationship with a girl and you're scared she's going to leave you and you don't have the skills to be able to get anybody back, then you're going to be in that place of scarcity. If you've got money right now and you're scared of spending it because you don't think you're going to make it again, you're not going to get very far in life. You're going to be this constant miser who is scared and petrified of the world. Like everyone's out to get me. This person is going to get money from me. Like I've been in this position where I've been just broke, poverty mindset. Like you can just see it on my YouTube channel, like how I've actually developed as a person, not just with day game, but life game. The person who has the most cares the least, and abundance. And this is so important. I say it all the time, but reiteration is consolidation. Abundance isn't always having, it's knowing you can have, right? Abundance is not always having, it's knowing you can have. So once you know how to get women, you're not stressed about women again. Once you know how to make money, you're not stressed about money again. Even if you have a few lean months, even if you have some dry spells, you're not sinking into a hyper depressive state because you know how to acquire. I had this beautiful message from one of the guys in my private network. If you don't know about my private network, it's called the Entourage. It's exclusive for the guys who work with me. I had a few questions about what my coaching actually entails. Someone asked me, oh, do you offer like one day things or like a weekend thing? Like, I don't offer this type of shit, like a spike of dopamine, like a one day session where you're hot. Like it doesn't work. Anyone in this industry who is selling like one day experiences or like a weekend, I used to do these. It's not how you get results. The way you get results is by becoming part of a community which holds you accountable. So the way my coaching works very quickly is it's separated into three phases: immersion, network, lifestyle. First of all, we work together in person. That's just the start of everything. Like the in-person is where most people's coaching stops. The in-person, that's just the start. So we work together. You get to work with me and my team in London or a city of your choosing. We work together, give you the playbook, hold you accountable for your action. But then that's when shit gets serious. Then you become part of my private network, right? You become part of my private network, the Entourage, which is a conglomerate of radically ambitious Renaissance warriors who are all striving to become the best, most attractive, fuckable versions of themselves. You're in that network then, so you've got access to me on WhatsApp. We have regular group coaching calls on a weekly basis where you're basically connecting with me like this. And then you get access to my lifestyle, immersion network lifestyle, which basically means you have an open invitation to travel the world with me. So we've done our in-person stuff, you've got the network, and then, oh, by the way, I'm going to be in Barcelona, I'm going to be in Bangkok, I'm going to be in Buenos Aires. You can come over. Like I've got Ephraim, we worked together last March in Warsaw. Now he's here with me for the month in Cyprus. I was like, bro, can you make it over? He was like, yeah, I've got a remote job, I'm making money, I can join you in Cyprus, and now we're here, we're brothers. Right? Like, find me someone else who's doing what I'm doing to the extent that I'm doing. I'm changing lives to the extent where you're not just a client, you're my friend, right? That's why I'm super selective about who I work with, because if I select you to actually join this network, I don't want any Tom, Dick, or Harry coming over to Cyprus with me. If I don't like you, I'm not working with you. And that's why the free 30-minute consultation call, there'll be a link for that below, it's as much for my benefit as it is for yours. If I don't think you're the right fit for my coaching, we ain't working together. Like, I say no to more people who I say yes to. Why? Because it's my life, it's my lifestyle. I don't want to be associated with anybody who doesn't actually represent me to the fullest degree. So yeah, just for people who are asking about coaching, that's basically the gist. But yeah, the website gone now. One of the guys in my network, he's in a long-term relationship now. So we worked together last May, and he's completely changed his life around. In about 90 days, he went from coming out of a long-term, I think it was about a 10-year long-term relationship, to now in a new relationship with a girl who's about 7 years younger than him, just like living life to the fullest. And he sent this really interesting message into our private WhatsApp group, the Entourage, where he said, yeah, listen, like, this relationship, it's amazing. I'm loving it. She's an amazing girl. We have an amazing time, a really fulfilling, meaningful relationship. But he said that he's fully prepared at any moment for this relationship to turn to dust. Why? Because he has the abundance mindset. Abundance is not always having. Exactly. But knowing you can have. So therefore, he's never needy in his life ever again, because he's got the skills to acquire. If 2 years down the line, the relationship does end, right? Just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it failed. It just means you juice the joy out of it to its full extent. Then he's coming out of that relationship knowing he's got the skills to essentially replace that relationship with something better. That's just how the world is, right? Like, we're all animals responding to incentives to a large degree, and the world is motivated by self-interest. We all just want the best deal for ourselves. But that's why it's important to put yourself first, to actually acquire these skills. And that's why I always say, master cold approach so you can forget about women. Right? Master cold approach so you can forget about women. Because once you've got the skill, once you know how to make money, once you know how to get women, you're not stressed about these things again. Right? Like, even when life is going great, it's like in the back of your mind, it's like memento mori. Like, remember, one day this will end. And it keeps you humble and it keeps you ready. Like, keeps you prepared for like the worst case scenario. But I just thought that was a beautiful message, because I remember his transformation. I remember working with him at the end of May in London. It was myself and George who were coaching him, and he's just done a complete 180 with his life. He's one of the most inspiring men that I know. He's joined me in multiple cities across the world, Krakow, Milan. Hopefully we'll be going to a few more places together. But yeah, just an incredible human being whose life has been completely changed by this process, by the network I've created, and yeah, I'd go as far as to say, by me, which is a lovely feeling. You know, like, evidence has the loudest voice, and I like my clients to be my biggest cheerleaders. So yeah, those are the three things. So like, aura, that's what it's about. It's developing aura. So doing difficult things, getting yourself into a social flow. And I think getting yourself into a social flow state, like just taking more social risks throughout your day-to-day life. Like, you might want to do a 30-day cold approach challenge where you just set the intention of doing one direct approach every single day for the next 30 days. And then just as you're going around your life, like just saying good morning to people, saying hello, like if you're at the gym, just seeing if you can start something spontaneous with a girl. You ask her, oh, are you using this? If you get the impression she's into you, then just think of something like situational. Like, I don't know, you could just say, oh, I'm new here. Do you usually come here? Whatever it is, like, find something situational. For me in that example, it was the fact that there was no music on the bottom floor. So I was like, oh, it's quiet in here, isn't it? Say it with a smile on your face, right? You're not a serial killer. Just like this sort of shit. But I really love this term, aura, like developing aura, so you compel people without even needing to say a word. It's like you're able to go into every interaction experiencing success in advance because you love and respect yourself. You love women, you respect women, you want them, but you don't need them. And like, every conversation that I now have with the feminine, it just boosts my state, because I'm not going in there needing to take something. Like, my cup is already full. I'm just like, yeah, this is nice, amazing. Like, I spoke with a beautiful girl today and that felt nice. Great. And then I'm taking all of this feel-good energy, this positive social momentum throughout my life. And it means that I can create a better live stream. I can be a better leader to my network if I was in relate. And this is important as well. I think when I do get into a committed long-term relationship, I'm going to make it very clear at the start of that relationship. Like, she's already going to know what my job is anyway, but I'm going to say to her, listen, this is basically like the gym to me. It's like, like bicep curls for my mind or bench press for my mind. It's like a bench press for my brain. It's like, for me to be the best version of me, for me to be the best partner I can be to you, I need to be able to do this thing, which is open, like talk to fucking girls, like flirt with girls. Like, it's not a case of I wanna pursue anything with them, but I like the idea, or I need to be receiving this feel good energy from the world. Like, if I'm in a relationship, because like it's interesting because women are never truly out of the game. I learned this from Zamperion in the Alabaster Girl. Like, imagine I'm with a girl right now. I've got my girlfriend Henrietta with me. So me and Henrietta, we're an item. When Henrietta leaves the house to go buy me a pack of peanuts, she can get approached. She can be made to feel beautiful by other guys. It doesn't mean she's going to act on those invitations, but she's still in the game, right? But most guys, when they're in relationships, they basically castrate themselves of their own confidence because now they can't approach anybody. And it's not a case of I want to approach girls because I want to sleep with them. Like, this is if I'm in a relationship. It's because I want to continue to receive love from the feminine as she's receiving admiration from the masculine. Does that make sense? I think that's how there's no rules to any of this, but that's how I envision my next true relationship. That's how it will flow. I'm free to be able to flirt with girls, to make girls feel beautiful, to delight in the feminine. Like, there's nothing stopping me meeting somebody and then bringing her into the relationship if those terms and conditions have been established. Because I know full well that when we're not together, my girlfriend is going to be getting approached. She's going to be getting DM'd on Instagram. Maybe people are like hitting up a Gmail. Creative. But do you know what I'm saying? So like, that's just a stream of consciousness which I've been entertaining, but that's the issue that I've always had in past relationships. It's like, oh, if I speak to other girls, that's cheating, but other guys can speak to her and it's fine. No, I don't really see that. I think that's how my relationship would play out. And as long as those terms and conditions have been established, I don't see the issue with it. Like, yeah, it might spike some jealousy. She might not like it from time to time, but it's being fluent in the language of the feminine. Like, jealousy is one of the greatest aphrodisiacs, right? She sees, because like every woman wants their man to be desirable. Like, no woman wants to be with a guy who can't get other girls. It's like, they don't want that. Like, they want to know that their man, basically, they want to know their man can replace them. They want to know, out of all of the options this man had, he chose her. It's like, I didn't just want someone, I wanted you. Like, that's where the healthiest relationships are born, from a place of abundance. You achieve a sense of abundance by developing aura, by doing difficult things, by getting into a social flow state and choosing to love what you have, operating from a place of self-adoration rather than self-deprecation, knowing that when all is said and done, you can look back at your life and say, do you know what? All the mistakes I make, as much of a twat I might have been to people, I lived life. I lived a life on my terms. I didn't dance the music of the masses. I wasn't constrained by the shackles of society, but I lived a life beyond the beige, and I'm fucking proud to be me. Like, that's how we all want to. That's how I want to get to my life anyway. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Let's drink some more creatine. But I do think that's the healthiest relationship. Because I think most guys these days, they're just picking somebody. It's like they go on a night out, they're feeling horny, they're feeling lonely, which is basically the same thing in a way. Oh, I feel lonely, I need somebody. Oh, she'll do, have her, then go back to your fucking easy hotel in Northampton, and then maybe have unprotected, and then she gets pregnant. Now you've got a family which you didn't want, but takes two to tango, and now you're going to be a worker drone because now you've got a family to provide for, and now you have to slave your life away to the machine because you made one bad decision. So abundance is the antidote to all of your anxieties, right? It really is. The person who has the most cares the least. Don't be having sex with people that you don't actually like as people. Like, that's just my wisdom to you, especially if you're a young guy. Don't be in this race to lose your virginity to the first girl who shows interest to you. Have the self-respect to be deliberate with your sexual impulses. Stop watching porn. It's just not healthy for you. Stop wanking off the digital images. Get outside, get sunlight, fucking lift some weights, sprint, find people that you resonate with, and spend time with your family. Tell people that you love them, because one day all the people you love are not going to be here anymore. So as much as it's important to embrace our own mortality, I think embracing the mortality of the people that we love as well is very important. Let me see. I love your videos, bro. Keep it up. You're the best. Thanks, bro. You answered me 20 minutes later. I could be living in a barrio favela in Caracas or Rio with gunfire being a daily occurrence, but I live in an affluent, safe suburb in the UK. I should show gratitude for that. Many people don't have that. I also think it's beneficial to move out of your home city as well. I did choose my last girlfriend from abundance, but a couple of years in, I lost my confidence and went back to a scarcity mindset. Then it ended. Now I cannot get out of my scarcity mindset. Lol. I love it when people end a comment with lol. I just saw a sheep die. Lol. I think that's a good point though, because I think it's super easy to lose yourself in a relationship. And I think to a large extent, especially when it comes to marriage, I think a lot of people end up marrying a stranger. Or certainly a lot of people get into relationships with strangers because at the start of that relationship, you're presenting your best self, right? You want to be perceived in a certain way. You want to be perceived as this high value man who's got all his shit together. He's like this Lothario, can get any girl he wants. I get that, right? That's when the ego is taken over. But eventually, the mask will slip. Eventually, she will discover the real you. And I think my good friend George explained this to me. He was like, you know, bro, like relationships, that's the ultimate self-improvement exercise. That when you become intimate with one person and you're not having all of these, I spoke about this on a live stream yesterday, but I didn't feel like I was as coherent as I need to be yesterday. So let me just reiterate this. It seems to me that in the cultural zeitgeist of the modern world, it has been popularized by the red pill movement that it is fashionable and in vogue to have multiple relationships. I'm seeing like 17 or 18-year-old kids on the internet saying how like telling me why I need to have multiple girlfriends, right? Making videos about how to be confident. It's like, bro, you don't even butter your own bread, and you're telling me that I need to have multiple girlfriends. But like, why do you think that? That's one of the best questions that I ask to myself and I ask the guys that I work with. Why do you think that? Not in a combative way, in a place of curiosity. Why do you think that? Because I think I see so many guys online who are basically parroting what they've heard from someone else higher up the social echelon. And it's scary to think that young men are being brainwashed by the brain dead into wanting to want what other people want them to want. And I believe that the whole multiple wives and multiple relationships, I do believe it's a cope because it's much easier to have multiple shallow relationships where you get the sex but nothing else. It's much easier to have those relationships than it is to commit and go all in with one person, right? Because if you go all in with one person, you're giving your entirety to that relationship. And if that doesn't work out, the entirety of you is hurt. Yeah. And I've been in this position many times where I've been terrified of committing to one person. I played it off as, you know, I want to be cool. I want to be this like high value guy who's like stacking options. No, I was just as insecure as you are, as insecure as I would say every single person on the internet, right? We're all just insecure. We're all just scared little boys who are going through life terrified that we won't be accepted, and we use different strategies as coping mechanisms. But like, I can just see the picture a lot more clearly now. I mean, I've just turned 27, so maybe that's what happens. But I can be more critical in my thinking. I'm not just taking things at face value. I don't want to have multiple wives. I don't want to have multiple relationships with multiple girls. I want to have that one wife-worthy woman who I choose from a place of abundance. And when she fits all of my criteria, when she's effectively auditioned to become the number one woman, or the second number one woman behind my mum, once she's been vetted for that process, I will go all in with that girl. But like knowing what I know about female nature, hypergamy, like it's important, I think, to have this knowledge, right? Like no woman is going to love you as unconditionally as your mother. And I do think to a large degree, men are valued by women because of the value that they provide. So that's fine. Like, I'm not trying to like rage against the tide. It doesn't make any sense. But I think just being aware of these ideologies, but not going like ultra red pill right wing where it's all like, oh, you know, you already know the narrative anyway. But no, I think it is super easy to lose ourselves in relationships. And I would say to any guy learning cold approach to just have at least 1 year, where you don't commit to anybody. You know, make sure the women that you're selecting, you are sexually selective and you're not just slinging your dick into anybody who gives you a nice smile. But like, I do think like for want of a better term, playing the field to find out what you like and don't like, to learn how to navigate the sexual marketplace, to learn how to navigate relationships. I think that's important for your first year of learning cold approach. I see a few guys who maybe they'll do cold approach like a couple of months and they'll get into a relationship and then that doesn't work out. They kind of just cashed in a bit too early and it's like, oh, need to start my momentum all over again. So I'd say definitely give yourself at least a year until you decide. Like you might even meet a girl in that first year. You don't decide to turn into a relationship like right then and there. But then maybe you've got each other on Instagram or something, and then like I don't know, 18 months after both of you had experiences together, maybe then you decide, maybe then you return. It's like the boomerang, like you return and you're like, listen, I've been on this voyage, I've been on this Renaissance mission, I've been on this expedition, I've gone to faraway lands and foreign shores. Now of all of the damsels I've met, I want you, yeah. And I think if she's invested, she'll want the same. So yeah, these are just thoughts. This is just me thinking out loud. Which Greek guy was it? All I know is I know nothing. Was it Aristotle or Socrates? Might have been Dido actually. Dido, White Flag, great tune. Did I have anything else I wanted to say? No, I think that's everything. Let me just see if there's any. I think moving out of your home city is beneficial. Yeah, I think maybe we'll do this on another live stream, like environment being everything. But I think this has been a really good stream. I've really enjoyed doing it. If you are enjoying these live streams, like I said, I'm going to be doing daily live streams. As much really to keep myself accountable and to relay the ideas and the thoughts and experiences that I have along the way. So I'm going to be doing these daily live streams for the remainder of the time that I'm here in Cyprus. If you're enjoying them, just drop the video a like. Tells me that you actually like the shit and I'm not just wanking in the wind. But no, it's been good. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully you've got a shit ton of fucking value. Maybe listen to this video again so you can actually internalize the lessons and everything that I've shared. What day are we on today? Friday? Great. So the weekend is coming up. So yeah, set yourself a mission for the weekend. Like have a Renaissance day tomorrow. Like if you've got a day off tomorrow, schedule a Renaissance day. Like do your sprints, do your social freedom, do your cold approach. If you're someone who's new to the game or you've been out of the game for a while, you've gotten a little bit rusty. Like momentum is never gone. It's just been put on hold. All right. So you can regain that momentum by doing difficult things. But yeah, I think just dive bombing into discomfort, going head first, and just freeing yourself from bullshit in all areas of life, right? Like it's us versus us. We are against ourselves. And yeah, I just wish you outrageous success in everything that you do. Thank you everybody for being here. Beautiful sunny day today. So yeah, I'm hyped. I've got aura. Hope you've got aura too. Aura like Rita. I'll speak to you boys tomorrow. Love you.